for the hour at 7:30. Write this number down, get yourself a handful of change, and head to the payphone. 256-576-4977. Very catchy little pun in the last four numbers, 4977. We're going to take your calls, and we want to hear what our listeners have to say about the Army team this season. And Steve, before I go too far, I want to mention our great sponsor, North Alabama Mortgage. North Alabama Mortgage. Yeah. Brian Hamaker, they can meet all your mortgage needs in Alabama, Tennessee, and even in Florida. And they really specialize in VA loans, too. So if you're a veteran out there, now is a good time to buy a house if you can find one.
or to refinance. I mean, surprisingly, rates have remained low. So this is a great time to refinance. They can hook you up with that as well. But great organization, great people. Great to do business with them.
Yeah, and just go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com and you can get the ball rolling. So let's, I love to gloat when we can gloat, and we can.
It's called basking in the afterglow of a victory. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the afterglow of the victory last week. First of all, Christian Anderson at quarterback he had, I think, a 70, a 75, and a 42-yard run, two of them for touchdowns?
Yeah, three runs, about 180 yards all total in three runs, which, pretty remarkable, averaging 60 yards a run on three runs.
Yeah, that'll get you something out. That'll get your name in the paper.
Yeah, and to me, that's a testimony. He's got great field vision. He sees a gap. And his straight line speed is probably comparable to anyone on the team. Not necessarily the quickest, darting kind of player, but when he sees a gap, he gets through it. He's off to the races. Yeah.
He is off to the races. So that was really good. And but I thought the play of our defense was just outstanding. We held Miami to 28 yards rushing, and that ain't much.
Oh yeah. We need to tighten it up a little bit on pass defense, but rushing defense, and Nolan Cockrell in the middle. He may not have a whole lot of numbers in terms of tackles and stuff. I think he was second in total tackles, had a half a sack, and so good performance there. But his presence, he is a disruptor in that interior line. And his presence, it alters the play on virtually every line.
Conrad Crane had a line about Nolan Cockrell. He said, from TV, it looks like his biceps are bigger than my legs.
and that may be the case.
And he's a big one, and he ties up a lot of people now. You can't ignore him. If you ignore him, he's going to make you pay for it. And in order not to ignore him, you have to block him with two or three people.
That's right. You got to ignore him at your own peril. Top of the tackles list, names that seem to be always there. Marquell Broughton, Spencer Jones, Eric Smith, all tied for 6 total each. We were talking about that before that we came on the air, that it just, when you go down the roster, we just have top flight defenders at most of those positions. Because you look at there, we mentioned Nolan Cockrell already. Andre Carter II got another sack to continue leading the country in sacks.
And he's what, 6'7"?
Yeah,
he's a big one.
He's a big old boy. Malcolm Morrison, Jabari Moore. Cunningham, one of the other captains. It just on and on and on. We have got such a quality defense.
Well, I'll tell you this. One of my favorite players on the team is Marquell Broughton. And I'll tell you who he reminds me of. For you old-timers out there, number 7 for the St. Louis Cardinals, Larry Wilson. He was a safety who would knock the taste out of your mouth. Yeah. He was all over the field, breaking up passes, intercepting passes. You could not ignore him. And Marquell is getting to the point where you better know where he is on the field.
Almost, I think the Ronnie Lott kind of guy.
Ronnie Lott?
Not great pass defender. He's almost a hybrid linebacker in the way he gets around the field, not afraid to hit. But if the ball is someplace, he's generally in close proximity to it.
And if the ball is loose, he's in close proximity to it. But, Steve, you and I talked about this over dinner. I think we just saw some plays in Army this past week that were statement plays. Not only for the game, but I think for Jeff Monken's tenure. So give me one that you thought, or a player.
I would say a play and a drive. It was all together. And the one you and I, first one both of us mentioned was that 4th and 1 on our own 10-yard line, which was just, and Buchanan, true to his form, and Coach Davis says he's 100% on getting first downs when they give the ball to him.
Well, hey, let me say something about the 4th and 10 before you go into the drive. To me, Monken going on for 4th and 1 on the 10-yard line, that wasn't just a statement play of the game. That was a Jeff Monken statement. He sent a message to the rest of our opponents that he has confidence in this football team. He will go for it at any time with extreme confidence that he can get it, and I thought that was a statement play for his whole 8-year tenure there. So back to the drive.
Yeah, and so that really got the drive going. The next big play in that was when Christian Anderson looked like he was going to get caught for about a 5 to 8 yard loss, and somehow maintained his balance, maintained his feet, fended off a couple of hits, and he's off to the races there for 40 plus yards. But the thing that was impressive, the drive as a whole, was just classic Army football. Ate up 99 yards, almost 11 minutes off the clock. It was just a thing of beauty in its whole.
Well, the last time I recall us doing a 99-yard drive, and I may be wrong, was against Ohio State. We pulled off a 99,
yes,
and nobody had ever done that before. But
yeah, and I think that was our opening drive against Ohio State, that game.
Oh, but were we hopeful? But, hey, the 99-yard drive, that was something. And, when Christian Anderson was dancing around, getting away from the defenders, you could have replaced that with a video highlight of Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk, because he had more moves than Michael Jackson on that play.
Yes, he did. That was just kudos. Because it seems like running backs, quarterbacks, you either got it or you don't. That there are those, they get popped and they're going down. And there are those that just have the sense of balance, can absorb those blows, and Christian Anderson is definitely the latter. The other big play, Zack Harding. Zack Harding.
You know what? I was just about to mention that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I cut you?
You cut me off, but go ahead.
But Zack is a weapon. I mean, just his punting for distance and his hang time, just those two metrics, he's clearly, that's why he's on the Ray Guy watch list. But what he demonstrated there, he was kicking. The line of scrimmage was on inside our own 35. He kicks the ball and puts it out of bounds inside the 5-yard line of Miami, and it was just like, wow. We just shifted the field position. And that's a real weapon.
And then our defense answered the call, as they did for the last couple of games. But you're talking about the punter being a weapon. That reminds me of some of Alabama's non-glory pre-Nick Saban days, where I remember talking to my buddies saying, "Man, don't we have a good punter?" Well, yeah, we did, and we have a hellaciously good punter now. But when you couple a good punter with a good defense and an offense that can either hold the ball for 10 minutes or run 75 yards in one play, flipping the field is an important thing, and we're flipping the field with Mr. Harding.
Yeah, and it was a bit of an unusual game. He hadn't been punting that much, but he punted 5 times, and I think he was
like
50-yard average. So he's a guy, as we look down the roster of guys who could potentially play on Sunday,
he's one.
I think he is definitely, he'll get some phone calls and hopefully make a roster.
And hope so. Well, hey, we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with Coach Saturnio, special teams coach. Aloha.
Special teams coordinator.
Mon pas d'avant, musée.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford, at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat and 3 meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. Drive-in, drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South. Bubby's Diner, home of the Donut Burger.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Hello, this is Kerry Rosenblum Realty, and we're part of that MA family. It's great to see football season back in, and we're at Rosenblum Realty trying to take care of all your real estate needs, whether home buying or selling. We'd like for you to put our 64 years of experience to work for you. We have 4-generation family ownership, and again, take a personal touch to taking care of your real estate needs. Call us at 256-539-9501 or rosenblumrealty.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Not a bad afternoon across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. A fair mix of sunshine and cloud cover. It's going to feel a little more humid compared to what we've had over the last couple of days. As a matter of fact, it's going to feel a little more humid compared to what we've dealt with across the Tennessee Valley over about the last week and a half. Temperatures climbing into the low and mid 80s. A couple of isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible this afternoon across the Tennessee Valley with some isolated to widely scattered showers. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, this is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Listen to me weekly on The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Roll Tide.
This is Bill Crawdad Crawford, and this is Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. Myself and Steve Cripey, the human Ouija board, alongside Colonel Tom Economy, is still on injured reserve. He just recently had his ruptured Achilles tendon repaired, and he did come out to watch the game last week, and we were giving him grief about his injury, saying that it needed to have a little more drama than just parking your motorcycle and falling backwards.
Be an athletic event involved in it, not just mounting or unmounting your motorcycle.
Well, I told him he should tell people that he was diving in front of the railroad train to save a baby, but that would have been a little bit too much. Well,
on a fast break during a basketball game,
anything better than what he said. Well, hey, we're also back up on Facebook Live. Steve and I switched seats tonight, and we've been paying the price in Switchology ever since. But it looks like also Coach Saturnio is not going to be able to join us. But Steve and I were looking at the special team stats for West Point. And, we are there's an index called the FEI, Freeman efficiency index, which don't ask me what that means, but it does use a combination of
Or more
stats.
simple terms, this is the special teams rating,
There you go.
efficiency rating.
And right now, Steve, we're number 4.
Yeah, number 4. Looking at the top 5, and I'll highlight a unique aspect to that top 5. Baylor, Boston College, Wake Forest, which is a future opponent, Army at number 4, and Michigan at number 5. And the distinction that top 5 has, every team in the top 5 on this special teams efficiency ranking, all the top 5 are undefeated right now,
Including us.
yeah, exactly. And it gets back to the whole, when, a lot of times when we think about a team that focuses on special teams and doesn't, make them an afterthought, is affectionately referred to as beamer ball.
Right.
Virginia Tech coach that really made that a force on his team. Didn't put second tier or third tier talent on the special teams. A lot of his starters were on special teams, on offense and defense. And so maybe there's something to be said for that. The 5 in the top ranking are all undefeated right now.
Well, and also last week, if you happened to watch the game against the Miami of Ohio University, we blocked 2 punts. And, a block punt, it doesn't actually show up as a turnover in the stats, but it is. And it's not only a good turnover, but the ball goes the other way. So it's a turnover normally that gives you yardage in your favor. So that's a good thing to be blocking those punts.
Yeah, and right now Army is tied for number 1 in the country on block punts, tied with Old Dominion and San Diego State. San Diego State is one of those undefeated teams right now. And then you look at the next one down, you see a lot of Power 5 conferences for that. But, not just block punts, but over the last couple of years, block field goals and those kind of things. And so Coach Cisternio is doing a fantastic job. There's an art to that. And it's not just, okay, you do this every single time. There's those adjustments that are made on each kick, and he's doing it right.
He's doing it right. But Coach Sean Saturnio is unable to join us tonight as we had planned, so that's our little special teams chatter. Well, Steve, you had mentioned this.
If I could, just real before we move off of
No, you
Coach
can't.
Saturnio, wanted to, just in case she's listening out there, his wife, Sharon, has joined our Facebook page, and it's a real honor. Coach Vidi's wife is part of our Facebook page, and that is a real honor. We know how busy they are, and the fact that they even pay attention or looking on our humble page is quite a compliment. So, welcome to
the community.
Yes,
and also we have quite a few of the players' parents who are on our Facebook page. And if you haven't joined the Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff Facebook page, Steve maintains that. He does an excellent job, and it is not Army football page. It has every Army sport that anything happens in. Like, I got to mention this because it's so cool. You said that we had I think you put in our page about the Army swimmer who swam around Long Island.
A woman from the swim team, Erica Esterly. She swam around the Isle of Manhattan. And to put that in perspective, that's 28 yards. Okay, that's longer than a marathon.
28 yards. It's 28 miles. I can swim 28 yards.
Excuse me, 28 miles. Yeah, that is a little bit different.
That's not that bad.
And you highlighted that swimming the English Channel is only 21 miles.
Yeah.
So this is a more formidable. May not get the rough waters you might get on the channel, but still, 28-mile swim is pretty. So congratulations to Cadet Erica Esterly. Well done. That's a formidable accomplishment.
And speaking of formidable accomplishments, I'm going to go ahead and do my sound effect I hadn't done in forever. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Let's talk a little good, bad, and ugly from last week's game.
Oh, my.
Well, I'll start it off.
Okay.
And I'll start it off with one of the good things that Army used to do. I used to call it WATOP, wasted time of possession, but no longer. Time of possession's good, but you got to score or it's wasted. And we outpossessed University of Miami, Ohio, almost the 39 minutes to 20 minutes.
That's called a 2-1 advantage.
That's called. Woo-wee, look at that boy Cypher, man. So that's a good thing. In other words, we didn't let them on the field that much. In fact, they just had 47 plays of offense to our 64.
Yeah.
So
and we're currently ranked number 1 in the country in that category, and number 2 in the country is like 4 minutes less than us on average. So yeah, that's kudos. I guess my good would be defense, and I would hit on that on two things. I mean, overall defense was really good. On the passing game, as we talked about, there were a couple lapses, but run defense was remarkable. Held them to 28 yards. On 20 rushes, and for those
mathematically challenged
doing it at home, that's 1.4 yards a rush. But also red zone defense. The sort of the proverbial bend but don't break kind of hunker down and kept them from going in. And even they turned it over on downs on that. So
well, I will give you another good, and that is this: 384 yards rushing. Now, granted, Christian Anderson had a whole big chunk of that, but our fullbacks went for over 100 yards, and overall, we control the clock rushing. I think did a great job, but. The good news is we had a lot of rushing yards, and I know this may sound crazy, but you almost hate to see those 70-yard touchdown runs because they happen too quick.
yeah, because our MO is grind out the clock, eat it up, but that's the amazing thing. We had those 3 big runs and still had that kind of time of possession advantage, and a lot of that again goes back to the 11-minute drive that went from the third quarter into the fourth quarter. I'm going to give a good and a bad that's all lumped together.
They can't do that.
And it's in the realm of turnovers. The good news is, and the good aspect, we ended up on the positive side once again, and on the season we are a +1 on average. And we'll get into this a little bit later, but Ball State is -1 on average. But the bad of that is we put the ball on the turf 3 separate times, and a little frustrating. Christian Anderson.
We got them all though, right?
Yeah, we got them all back. So that was the good news. But the bad news, we put it on the ground 3 times. Christian Anderson, Tyler, and then Donaldson did it once as well. We may not be so fortunate. We had the right people in the right place to get those back. But we need to hang on to the ball. We can't afford that kind of play.
Well, I will give another ugly, and I hope this is.
Are we going all the way to ugly? You're going to bypass bad?
Well, this is bad and ugly. How about that? And that was the play where Christian Anderson, on some kind of a strangely called pass play, fell very awkwardly on his right arm, and it looked like from the first glance, because he was holding his collarbone, it looked like a broken collarbone. But Coach Monken said later in the week, nothing's broken, he's just hurt. And so we're hoping he can come back. But, oh, God, I hated seeing him go down like that.
Yeah, and the way he immediately reached for his shoulder looked like it was a collarbone.
Yeah.
But, for those that missed Coach Monken's press conference on Monday, he said that nothing's broke or torn, but it is really painful. So I think we'll often hear those deep contusions, or AKA a bruise. It may just be a deep bone bruise, or that maybe even the shoulder got jammed a little bit, and he's just got to work through that.
We got a caller, Steve. Got Michael on line 1. So let's take our call. See if we can get you in before
How you guys doing?
Hey, Michael Beans, what's up?
Hey, just call into the best radio show there is. That's what
Whoa!
You sure you got the right number?
That's high praise from someone with your creds there, Michael.
I guess this is the right one. Hey, a great show as always. Everything else, and my only thing is I'm really looking forward to how we go on the road this week. Be ready for us. This is a big day for them this week.
Mike, you're absolutely right. They're going to be ready, and this is a potential trap game from us, even though we have a bye next week. Hopefully our team doesn't go to sleep in Muncie.
But I think you're right. I mean, Ball State came into the season with high expectations. They won the MAC last year, won their bowl game. All the momentum was heading toward 21, and they've really fallen flat and currently at 1-3. So I think they're looking for an opportunity to get this season turned around.
Well, Mike, what else you got? Because we got to squeeze in a break here pretty quick. But as always, we really appreciate hearing from my old Recondo buddy.
There you go.
Yeah, man, that's all I want to do. Just want to call in, and we should have a great rest of the show. But
well, thank you very much, and
appreciate it, brother.
Mike Beans, hero of 911, Smokey Mike. Let's go ahead and take a break at the bottom of the hour. We'll be back in a few minutes, and we're taking your calls just like we did, Michael. 256-576-4977.
Tom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat-and-free meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. Drive-in, drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South. Bubby's Diner, home of the Donut Burger.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Organizations using Salesforce know how powerful the platform is and how much time, money, and headaches it saves if it's set up right and you know how to use it. Let's face it, Salesforce is complicated and time-consuming to figure out, and a lot can go wrong now and down the road without expert help. That's why most Salesforce users work with an implementation partner like Higher Echelon, so they get the absolute most out of their Salesforce investment. Higher Echelon is a 5-star Salesforce consulting partner who won Salesforce Military Hiring Partner of the Year. President Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets. He puts that experience to good use at Higher Echelon, where they pride themselves on hiring veterans. Look, not all Salesforce partners are the same. Don't put your company at risk by going with an inferior partner. Higher Echelon is the trusted partner you can count on to get you up and running and seeing returns on your Salesforce investment in a fraction of the time it would take if you go it alone. Go to higherechelon.com. That's HIGHERECHELON.com to learn more. Go higher and go Army.
Maybe the air doesn't blow like it should, or it's needing new tires, or you're just ready for something newer. It's time to move up, time to trade up. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and it's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your current car or truck is worth more than you know. In fact, we'll buy your vehicle even if you don't trade. We have nearly 100 Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned models to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with a 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. It's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your vehicle is worth more right now at Woody Anderson Ford. Corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
The following liner is courtesy of Frank Caliendo. Check out Frank online at frankcaliendo.com.
Listen to Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond weekday mornings. Knock on wood if you're with me.
Welcome back, Army sports fans, for the second half of Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. Sorry we had a little breakdown and didn't get Coach Saturnio on, but we'll try to rectify that
that's
next
like I say, he's one of those, and Army's got several of those kind of coaches that are just high energy, really inspiring kind of personalities that you love to talk to, and we've had a chance to talk to Coach Saturnio on a couple occasions, and always look forward to that.
Yeah, he's a little Jimbo Fisherish in the way he entered, his style of talk. But speaking of good stuff, how about Nick's Ristorante, 10300 Bailey Cove Road? Nick has been a sponsor of our show for, I think this is going on the 8th year. No better place to go eat than Nick's Ristorante, or to go into the lounge and have a cigar if you so desire, and a chat with the good old bartender Kenny. But the food there, Steve, excellent.
Yeah, second to none. And again, if you want a special night out where you're going to be pampered, you're going to get great service, great food. The steaks are excellent. The Italian dishes are remarkable. There's no better place in Huntsville than Nick's.
Okay, well, here we go to start rolling through the calls. We got Smokey Mike running around like a chicken with his head cut off. But I think the first caller we have standing by is Barrett. Barrett, are you there?
Go Army.
Go Army.
Good to hear from you, Barrett.
Well, how you doing tonight?
Good to hear from you guys. Doing good. I just want to make a comment. Watching Army football is extremely exciting this year. One of the goods I wanted to point out, and the good, the bad, and the ugly, is our secondary on defense. And I don't know if it's every day where you get to see a pass go up in the air and you're like, uh-oh, one of our safeties is going to make an interception. But that is one of the goods that I wanted to point out. And then for Mr. Steve Cripey, one of the other, I want to give a shout out to one of the other Army, sports teams going on, and Army Sprint Football, the former 150s, are playing Navy this Saturday for the Star Game. So,
we need to get that on the Facebook page. Always a good battle there.
Well, just for those who do not know, anytime we play the Naval Academy, it's called a Star Game. And if we win the game, on your jacket that you wear as a cadet, if you're a letterman in any sport, you get to put a star on your letter because
a gold star.
A gold star.
And a silver star if you defeat Air Force.
There you go.
It's different to be a starman, though.
Yeah.
No, Barrett, we know that you and I were not starmen. Starmen, by the way, just if you don't know what that jargon means, it means you're in the top 5% of your class at West Point.
Academically, yeah.
Academically, and not me. Well, Barrett, any other sports comments? Because I think we got some other callers.
No, beat Ball State.
Beat Ball State. And by the way, if you do want to call the show tonight, call 256-576-4977. And Mike, I believe we have Joel on the line.
Yeah, I just have a wide open question for both of you. Where do you see Army football in the rankings right now and at the end of the year?
Well, that causes us to have to pull out our crystal ball and prognosticate a bit, but I'll tell you where I think, and then we'll let Steve take it over right now. We're not getting a lot of love in the AP poll, which is the sports writers, and Steve can address the coaches poll, but where I think we're going to end up this year, it depends on a couple of things. One, if we play Wisconsin tough, even if we do not beat them, and that's coming up not next week, but the week after next. And then if we play Liberty and play Wisconsin tough, play Liberty, beat them, beat Air Force, beat Navy, I easily can see us as we were in 2018 when we were within the top 20, not just the top 25. Steve, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that's hampering us right now with regard to garnering attention on the national polls is our strength of schedule right now. The way I do it, and I'll post this week's statistical comparison, if not this evening, tomorrow. But right now, our strength of schedule is ranked 126. There are 130 FBS schools, so we're near the bottom. And a lot of that ranking is surprising because some of the teams that we thought were going to be really tough have sort of floundered coming out of the starting gates. The Massey Composite, which is an average of about 40 polls currently, has us at 36, and I'd say that's about right. I think if we are 5-0 coming out of this next game, I think that bye week it would not be unusual for us to maybe be 25th. Now, at the end of the season, if we're a 10-win team, then I can easily see us, finishing in the top 25. I think it'll be tough to crack the top 20, just given where our schedule is right now.
Well, Steve, one other point about ending up the season in the top 25. It all depends on what goes on, Joel, because as you know, I know you're an avid football fan. A lot of the teams that are supposed to be doing real well this year aren't. Just take a look at Clemson and take a look at some of the Texas A&M, Steve's Aggies. Some of these teams that are falling by the wayside. Well, that opens up spots in the polls.
Yeah.
So,
and the additional thing that I would say to dovetail off of that is the pollsters look not only at your record, but your record against the point spread. And unfortunately, in our game against Western Kentucky and UConn, we did not cover the point spread. And so for those pollsters, that generally is a ding. Fortunately, we handily handled the point spread against Miami. Hopefully we'll do the same against Ball State.
And, Joel, one other thing to remember, and this is just for what it's worth, but, the AP poll, none of the polls really matter until like November, and that's when they really start making a lot of, when the CFP stuff, when they get together and vote, that's when the polls really count. And like right now for the coaches' polls, the coach usually hands that to a member of the sports information department and says, fill it out. And and the AP stuff is just sports writers. So what else is on your mind, Joel?
No, I just think the academics at West Point will factor into it, and we'll be in the top 20 here shortly.
Outstanding. Yeah, that would be nice to get that kind of recognition. That definitely helps the coaches when they hit the road on recruiting.
Yeah, and Joel, really the only time the academics factor into it is when you're not a six-win team and they don't have enough teams to fill up the bowls. There's some kind of index that we used to get in the bowl one time where they look at your graduation rates, your academics, this, that, and they come up with some bizarre ranking. And if you don't have 6 wins, you can get into a bowl game. But I don't think we're going to have to worry about that this year. But, hey, appreciate the call.
Hey, good info. Thank you so much. Go Army.
Okay, yeah, go Army. Go Army.
Yeah, if I could, couple, we were going through good, bad, and ugly. Couple, bad. It's easy coming out of a win just to bask in all the goodness there. But I think to be objective fans, we have to, critique ourselves. It was disappointing after leading the FBS in team passing efficiency on offense through the first 3 games. While we still maintain that distinction, we were 0-5 in the passing department. And I think a couple of those, we were put in a position where we had to pass. And I think as you look to those first 3 games, we passed when we wanted to pass, not when we had to pass. And I think that's when we're most effective.
And that you're exactly right. We're only effective passing when they are stacked up and think we're going to run. And then voila, out comes a pass play. So I'll give you my ugly, and then Smokey Mike will go to our final break. My ugly is the coach of Miami of Ohio's big whine before the game. I don't know if anybody saw his, he was saying how the Army players are so mean and they bite and they kick, but that's okay because they're soldiers, but they're mean and they cut block and they do things they're not supposed to, but that's okay because they're Army people. Well, guess what, Coach? We had 1 illegal block called on us, so take it like a man.
And we continue to be one of the least penalized teams in the country. So, Yeah, that was, I think a lot of what he said there, and maybe sincere, we can't judge a man's heart and his motives. Some of it came across as a little veiled
insult.
Veiled insults. But at the same time, he did say, we have a warrior's ethos, at West Point, and it's, do what you need to do to win. Now, you could take that, okay, we're going to fight scratch within the rules to do what we need to do. But it almost seemed to be, the inference seemed to be, that they'll be dirty, rotten scoundrels and do what they need to do.
And so, Mike, let's go ahead and get out of here with a break. Ethos, for those of you from Revelo, Tennessee, means heart and soul of a warrior.
Yeah.
That's one of them smart West Point people words.
Heart, soul, and culture.
All right, we'll be back in a minute. Crawdad out.
Jesus tells us to go the second mile. Well, sometimes it's hard enough to go the first mile. But when the Lord is number one in our lives, we not only go the first mile, but we embrace the second mile. We can talk all we want about Jesus and how important he is to us, but we show it in the second mile. In the second mile, the world has changed. In the second mile, the difference is made. In the second mile, the lost world sees Christ in us. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison. And check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner of University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. And a quick shout out to my son, Avery Seaton, number 19. Stop into University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including our all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and the sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in the Kia. Go Mustangs!
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
Orange is the color of power, of progress, the color of Kubota and Huntsville Tractor and Equipment. Those who need to get things done, trust Kubota's L and M Series tractors, zero-turn mowers, the fun sidekick, from one of the top dealers in the country. More than 50 years of family service, every part in the book, and folks who know what to do with them. You'll be seeing orange with Huntsville Tractor and Equipment.
Come on, let's go to work.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
Looking for future leaders we can trust and believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Alabama. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It begins by making their grades and being on time for practice. It includes learning to listen, following directions, accepting responsibility, being a good role model. And it's about respect for officials, opponents, the rules, and each other. The result? It transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. High school sports. There's so much more than just a game. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Bill Crawdad Crawford along with Steve Cripe, also known as the Human Ouija Board, for our last segment of Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff, where we're going to get into a little bit about Ball State from Muncie, Indiana. But before we do, I'm going to do a combo ad. Here's what you need to do. Go to North Alabama Mortgage at northalabamamortgage.com, refinance your house, buy a bass boat, put your kid through college, and then go down to Nick's Restaurante and celebrate with all the money you're going to save. How about that for an ad on the fly?
Bass boat, yeah.
Get a bass boat or whatever you want to get. Well, it's a chance this week to go 5-0 against the Ball State Cardinals. What a perfect motto for their school. It's We Fly.
We Fly.
That sounds that's either like Delta Airlines or something. Hey, we're the Cardinals and we fly. Well, Steve, at the first of the year, we looked at that as a toss-up game, or 50-50, as you would say. What do you think now?
Yeah, I really like our chances because as I looked at the statistical comparison this week, it was eerily similar to what our matchup with Miami was this past Saturday. Similar weaknesses, not many true strengths, an appreciably higher strength of schedule than we had. All those, again, are identical to Miami, and it just I really think we've got a great chance, and a lot of it is because of their really significant weaknesses really match up with a lot of our strengths. I look at one, their first down offense is not that good. We've got one of the best first down defenses in the country, ranked at 15. Red zone defense, they are not good at it, and we're ranked 45th in red zone offense. And I could go on. They're about, quick glance, about 7 or 8 categories where they're in the bottom 25% of the FBS in the statistical category, and that aligns in an area where we are very, very strong. So I like our chances.
The immovable object meets the unstoppable force. So hopefully we're the unstoppable force. And one thing to mention to all those folks out there in radio land, for the Army game this week, it's not on CBS Sports Network like it normally is.
Well, it's not a home game, so it wouldn't be. Yeah. Only the home games are on CBS Sports Network.
And therefore, it's not. If you want to watch it, it's on ESPN Plus at 4 o'clock, 1600 Central Time. And I checked with the athletic department. That's the only way you can watch it. But if you want to listen to it, go to the App Store, 977ESPN.com, download the app, and you can listen to every game that Army plays on our radio station's app. You can put your iPhone in your pocket and go wherever you want to and listen to them. So
there you go.
So back to Ball State. I just wanted to get that plug in. They don't score a lot. Last week they didn't put the ball in the end zone against Toledo. They had 4 field goals, and Steve, I don't see them stopping our running offense at all.
Yeah, and I think here's sort of the good news, bad news story. I mean, to your point, the MAC offensively is pretty homogeneous. It's a lot of West Coast spread option, sort of run and gun kind of option. They don't have teams or even schemes within those teams that are heavily run oriented, and certainly nothing that even resembles an option. And so this is something. This will be a first. I mean, Miami saw the option 3 years ago. And they still had a tough time. I mean, it was well over a half before they even showed any kind of semblance of adjusting to the speed of the option. I think Ball State is going to be, faced with a couple, similar kind of thing. They've got a couple linebackers, Jalen Thomas and Bryce Crosby, that are probably have the potential to play on Sundays. But that's the strength of their defense. And their defense, I'd say, is slightly above average, definitely stronger than their offense. But even that, they've been giving up 33 points a game.
And, our quarterback, Christian Anderson, don't think we'll see him this Sunday, but that's okay, or this Saturday. And then he has another week off to get ready for Wisconsin. But, we said at the start of the year we got 6 quarterbacks. Now we're going to see how well they can play. Tyler Tylers has been the backup, and unfortunately his play skills are pretty much sweep right, sweep left, hand off up the middle, and
or follow the fullback up the middle is the more typical kind of thing. Now, I will say in that first game we saw some pitches and that, and hopefully he's coming off a week where he's gotten probably all of the first team reps, and so who knows what we'll see. The thing I do like about his running ability, whereas Christian Anderson has great straight line speed. Tyler he's quick. He's got great lateral movement, has great vision. So you get him in the open field or give him a gap, he can adjust quickly. So he has big play potential.
He can jump around like a water bug on a swimming pool. So Steve, I think that's a little hint that we got to get out of here pretty soon. Give me a prediction.
I think we're gonna easily cover the point spread. It's going to be a very similar score as I predicted for the Miami game. I see us putting up over 30 points. I'll say 34-10.
I was going to say 38-10, so we're both close. Hopefully we're both right. Well, folks, that's going to do it for this edition of Crawdad's Countdown to Kickoff. And remember this, no matter where you are and no matter what you're doing right now, no matter what's going on in this country, turmoil or not, there are soldiers standing a watch so you can live the life and enjoy the life you live. Steve, how many days?
Sir, there are 72 and a butt days until Army beats the hell out of Navy in MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Hey, folks, y'all, thanks for tuning in. Remember, we will be not here next week, but come on back the week after that as we get you ready for Wisconsin, hopefully talking about a Ball State win. This is Crawdad. We are out.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Of the Braves dugout. Max trying to polish him off, and the next pitch fouled back. He spoiled another good one. Good fastball at 94. Nola had a good cut. Milwaukee got a run in the first. They still lead the Cardinals 1-0 in the fifth. Trying to snap that Cardinal winning streak. Pitch, check swing, he went. And then strikeout number 5 for Fried. And we go to the bottom half of the fifth. Braves still on top 3-1.
What's up? This is Riley. And a little thing I love about the Chick-Fil-A Grilled Chicken Club sandwich is the Applewood bacon. It's savory and then it's also kind of sweet. It just really knocks it out of the park.
Order the Grilled Chicken Club sandwich on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real guests paid for their testimonial.
Atlanta area Chick-fil-A's are proud to partner with the Atlanta Braves Foundation on the Home Plate Project, helping to fight food insecurity to families in need throughout the communities they serve. More info at braves.com/homeplate.
Care has the power to bring kindness where it's needed. It brings out the best in every one of us. It doesn't just see people, it takes time to understand them. It puts the needs of others ahead of its own. And when you start with care, you end up with a very different kind of bank. Truist. Truist Bank, member FDIC.
The Atlanta Braves staff is thrilled to welcome fans back to Truist Park for the 2021 season. They've worked hard to make Truist Park a safe and clean environment. New enhancements and safety protocols include modified seating, enhanced hospital-grade sanitation, mobile ordering, and cashless retail and concession stands. Fans can now take advantage of even faster Wi-Fi speeds and order concessions from their seats using the Ballpark app. To see all the ways the Braves will keep you safe at Truist Park this season, visit Braves.com/Let's Play. Atlanta Braves Baseball for the A.
Visit your local Toyota dealers or Toyota.com today. No matter your destination, Toyota goes with you. Toyota, let's go places.
You're locked into Atlanta Braves baseball on the Braves Radio Network, lit by Louisiana Hot Sauce.
Joe Ben and Jay Chad with you. Bottom of the fifth inning, Braves up 3-1. They'd like to add to it. Austin Riley will lead it off against Aaron Nola. But first, a reminder, you fans shouldn't face complex surgeries without the best surgeons. Northside Hospital surgeons have decades of experience leading the Southeast in innovative procedures. Learn more at northside.com. Austin Riley has singled, drove in a run with a little jam shot to right field in the first inning. That plated Soler. He's also struck out after his RBI single with runners at first and third. Adam Duvall was able to hit a ground ball and avoid a double play, and that got Freddie Freeman in from third base. That was the first 2 runs for Atlanta. And then Phillies got a run in the third inning. Make it the second inning. An infield hit by Torres. Braves got a run back in the third. He's talking about Nola's work against Freddie